Get down, bro. What you doing?
I ain't getting down.
What you doing?
I ain't getting down.
What are you doing?
What crime am I being detained for?
I don't know. I heard that you ran from one of my officers. What's going on?
So all we want to know is what you're doing.
I like to be surrounded, so you're gonna go over there.
What do you got on him?
He was creeping behind the police tower, crouching down right by. As soon as he saw me roll up, he fucking bolted.
Okay.
So what are you doing around our property?
Are you damaging our property, man? What were you doing behind there?
We have every reason to.
Okay. Put your hands behind your back.
Hello and welcome back to Legal Dissent, where we evaluate your constitutional rights before they're taken away. I apologize I sound like I have a cold. It's because I do have a cold, but the show must go on. We'd definitely love to get your support for soldiering through this episode, and if you could hit the like button and subscribe, we'd greatly appreciate it. Today we evaluate a video posted by Now Omaha a couple of days ago on his channel of an encounter recorded in Tomball, Texas on February 21st, 2021. The links to his channel, the original video, the Tomball Police Department, and all of the case law and statutes are located in the description below. Now Omaha is filming the Tomball Police Department when he is approached by the police.
Fuck it. Now they're all going inside. And we out. That's how we. Yep. Nope. That's how we do it. Stay over here.
What are you doing behind the police tower?
Alright, I'm gonna turn my camera on now. Turn it on.
That's fine, I'm recording too. Recording both. What's going on, man? Hey, tell us what's going on. Put your hands where we can see it. Come on. Yeah, I know what you're doing. You're trying to bait us. It ain't gonna work. You're just trying to bait us. I'm not stupid.
Actually, my back is just.
Okay. So, why are you over here hiding, creeping behind our police house?
Right there.
Looks like he's trying to bait us into these.
Ain't nobody trying to bait you. Well, I mean, kind of. Alright, I don't got time for this shit. I'm out.
Hey, get down, bro. What you doing?
I ain't getting down.
What you doing?
I ain't getting down.
What are you doing?
What crime am I being detained for?
I don't know. I heard that you ran from one of my officers. What's going on?
So all we want to know is what you're doing.
I like to be surrounded, so you're gonna go over there.
What do you got on him?
He was creeping behind the police tower, crouching down right by. As soon as he saw me roll up, he fucking bolted.
Okay.
So what are you doing around our property?
Are you damaging our property, man? What were you doing behind there?
We have every reason to,
Put your hands behind your back,
detain
bro.
him and ID.
You're being detained for an investigation.
Ashley 3802, you don't have any reason to detain me. Tomball, Texas. Don't touch my phone. Don't touch my phone. You can handcuff me, but don't touch my phone. You can handcuff me. Don't touch my phone.
There are three types of police-citizen encounters. This has quickly escalated from a consensual conversation to a detainment. The United States Supreme Court has held in Terry v. Ohio that the police are allowed to detain an individual when they have a reasonable, articulable suspicion that an individual has committed a crime, is committing a crime, or about to commit a crime. In this case, the officers clearly have a reasonable, articulable suspicion that the auditor is potentially up to criminal activity. He is a hooded individual who they witnessed laying face down on the concrete around vehicles, and then ran quickly across the parking lot. This type of behavior is not normal, and would lead a rational person to believe that something potentially criminal could be happening. Remember, the burden of proof for reasonable articulable suspicion is significantly lower than beyond a reasonable doubt needed for a conviction, or even probable cause, which is needed for an arrest.
Let go of your phone, bro.
Stop touching my phone!
It's gonna go right here.
Dude, you don't have a right to touch my
Is this
phone.
a weapon? Is this a weapon?
Don't touch me. I don't consent to searches. Don't touch me, dude.
Okay.
You just violated my rights. That's what you just did.
Okay.
No, ain't no and.
All right.
What's your name?
All right.
Bass number,
What's your
ma'am.
name?
What's your name?
What's your name? My
What's-
name's Officer Taylor.
Bass number.
592.
Bass number. What's your name?
887 Lopez.
What about you?
946.
What's your name?
Texas,
and date of birth?
Texas 3802 says I'm only have to ID if I'm lawfully arrested. So what crime am I being detained for? For
an
what crime?
Investigation.
For what
Criminal
crime?
mischief for one of our towers.
Can you prove
We're
criminal
conducting an
mischief? Can you
investigation.
prove it?
All I have to
Go.
prove is suspicious person for
No,
suspicious
you don't.
circumstances.
Go look at your stuff. I didn't touch anything.
Okay. Do you have any weapons on you?
Okay.
I don't consent to
Seriously,
searches.
just to make sure
Right
nothing's
I don't
being
consent to searches.
Okay. Well,
Don't
I see a bulge and I don't know what it is.
Don't touch me. Don't touch my stuff. I already told you you put me in handcuffs, but you can't go around touching me and touching my phone. I ain't tired of having no. No, see, I ain't no dog.
Sit him down.
No, I'm not sitting down.
down.
Nope.
Sit down.
Nope.
Sit down.
Sit down. Come on. I'm getting detained. I'm getting beat up by the police for no crime committed. Exercising my constitutional right. First Amendment protected activity. All on body cam. All been live streamed. All of it's been live streamed. Tomball, Texas. T-O-M. Ball like basketball. I need a supervisor here immediately.
I'm the supervisor, bro.
I don't consent to searches nor seizures. I didn't commit a crime. You didn't tell me I was detained for a crime. You have to tell me I'm detained for a
I
crime.
just told you you were being detained
For
for
what?
investigation for criminal mischief.
Criminal mischief. Can you prove that?
We're investigating.
What's your name, Bass number, since you're walking up on the scene?
To control everybody at the scene.
Well, I'm getting up.
Sit down. You're not getting up. You're gonna sit down.
I'm getting up.
Sit down.
For what crime? I ain't your
I
dog.
already told you.
I ain't your dog, bro.
Sit
I ain't
down.
your dog.
I don't care. Sit there.
You disrespectful, dude.
Okay.
You're disrespectful. I don't gotta sit down. What crime am I being detained for? Can you prove criminal mischief?
We're investigating.
We'll investigate.
Yeah, we are.
Don't touch me and detain me without a crime.
Well, you're gonna sit there.
3802 says you must only get my ID if I'm suspected or being arrested for a crime. You can't prove criminal mischief because I didn't do it. I have it all on video.
Suspected of a crime. You just
Nope, being arrested, 3802. I have to be arrested.
The auditor is correct that he does not need to identify until he has been lawfully arrested. Texas law states in section 38.02, subsection A, that a person commits an offense if he intentionally refuses to give his name, residence address, or his date of birth to a peace officer who has lawfully arrested the person or requested the information. The condition precedent to being in violation of the statute is that the police officer has lawfully arrested the individual. To be lawfully arrested, an officer must have probable cause that a crime has been or is being committed as determined in Henry v. United States. At this point in time, the auditor has only been detained and therefore does not have to identify. The officer does mention that the auditor has been detained for criminal mischief, which is defined under Texas Penal Code section 28.03a. A person commits an offense if, without the effective consent of the owner, he intentionally or knowingly damages or destroys the tangible property of the owner, he intentionally or knowingly tampers with the tangible property of the owner and causes pecuniary loss or substantial inconvenience to the owner or a third person, or he intentionally or knowingly makes markings, including inscriptions, slogans, drawings, or paintings on the tangible property of the owner. It would be relatively easy from the facts of this case for an officer to infer that the auditor could have potentially tampered with or created some type of graffiti on the property located in the parking lot.
Yours is recording too, though.
Yeah, but your body cam is better than my body cam.
I don't know.
Because
it's pretty nice. Yeah, yours is pretty nice. You got a pretty good one right there. Yeah.
No, but it's on your person, not on me. You got more of a vision than I do.
Oh, it's talking about the angle of the video.
Yep, the angle.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you're damn sure not searching me. I don't consent. I don't consent to searches. I told you I don't consent. Now you want me to stand up? I don't consent to searches. I don't consent to searches. I don't consent. No, I don't consent to the ID. I sure as hell don't consent to the ID. You're just violating my rights. Who's telling you to do all that? Who's telling you to violate my rights? Who's telling you that on the phone right now? I need to know to document this whole incident. Don't touch my ID. You're not getting my name, dude. You just violated my rights.
I really do not understand the officer's justification for taking his identification out of his pocket. When individuals are detained via a Terry stop, officers are allowed to conduct frisks that enable officers to feel the outside of an individual's clothing for weapons. Only if they feel something that they believe is a weapon are they allowed to escalate the frisk into a search. At this point, the auditor is only detained, and obviously a weapon would not be in his wallet where they grabbed the ID. This, in my opinion, is a violation of the auditor's rights, and the officer should not be allowed to seize his ID. Ultimately, the auditor did not have any identification on him, so the officers ended up empty-handed.
This is what they do. They treat black people like this. This is what they do. Yeah, it does. It has a lot to do with being black.
It doesn't matter what race or anything.
It does, because the way you just treated me for no reason, I've committed a crime.
Well, you had multiple bulges in your pocket. I'm asking if you had weapons. You said you didn't want to.
I don't consent to searches. I have constitutional right. Isn't this Texas?
It's this Terry stop.
This is Texas.
Heard of a Terry stop?
Yes, you have that reasonable, articulable suspicion of a crime, which you don't have.
We have you ducking down, hiding behind a tower.
Not illegal.
Fleeing from an officer.
Not illegal.
Bulges in your pocket.
Not illegal.
And she's telling you to stop, and you're not stopping.
I did stop.
That's reasonable, articulable facts to believe that you may have a weapon on you, or to believe that crime is afoot. So we're conducting an investigation on that.
Well, go conduct the investigation, man. I'm sitting here.
But I want you to know exactly why we're doing what we're doing. I don't want there to be any confusion.
The officer lists the specific facts to support his inference that crime is afoot. Ducking behind cars, bulges in his pockets, and refusing to stop combined together would be enough in any court to justify a detention. Although based on the video we've seen, he did not refuse to stop. However, laying on the ground around the cars and the running through the parking lot, although not illegal in and of themselves, together they would be enough to justify a detention.
Alright, sir, since you want to give us your name, I'm just calling you sir. I don't know what to call you. So, I just want to give you an update, okay? So, officer states that as she was driving by over there, she saw you crouch down behind one of our camera towers, and she said as soon as she turned around, you popped right up and started running away. And she said she turned on her lights to come and talk to you, and she said, "Hey, stop." And she said that she saw the tire on the side that you were kneeling at was almost completely deflated while the other one is full.
What?
So I'm just telling you the truth, man. I just heard it myself. Okay?
I got it on video, bro.
So that is what we believe that you're doing as far as criminal mischief. You're deflating tires, okay?
What?
Criminal mischief doesn't mean any monetary value or loss. It could be a substantial inconvenience. So deflating somebody's tires.
I didn't do that.
That's criminal. Well, I'm just telling you. That's what I got.
Ahead, go ahead.
So that's what we believe the criminal mischief is, okay? Okay, so what's happening right now is this officer, she said she activated her emergency lights, told you to stop, you took off running and put your hands in your pocket. Right now she's gonna call the DA's office and see if they're gonna accept charges for evading and failure to ID, okay? That's what's going on right now. So as of right now, you're still detained, okay? For criminal mischief for that investigative purpose, okay? All right.
Alright, this is why it is so vitally important for auditors to be careful and to make sure they are filming every encounter with the police. He is now being accused of deflating the tires in a vehicle, which would be a violation of the Texas criminal mischief statute. Police officers have this ability to lie and make up false facts that fit their narrative. Unfortunately, as wrong as it seems, if you are in this position, there is no talking your way out of it. You will now have to prove your innocence in court. At this point, the auditor has to give his name and date of birth because the situation has escalated from a detainment to an arrest.
What am I being charged with?
Failed ID and evading.
They ended up arresting him for failure to ID and evading. This again doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. The criminal mischief charge actually would make more sense. He didn't fail to ID as he gave his ID as soon as they informed him he was under arrest. The evasion also doesn't make sense. He didn't really try to flee from the officers, and I don't see that sticking in court after watching the video. This leads me to believe that they know the officer really didn't witness him around the vehicles.
Of course I get falsely accused. That's what video's for, I guess.
Well, see, obviously I was trying to find out what was going on, and if you would have just told me that, then you wouldn't be in this situation.
Again, we have an officer who expects citizens to do her job for her. It's not his responsibility to explain what he's doing or to prove his innocence. However, it's also not the officer's job to prove his guilt, only to show probable cause that a crime has been committed. The burden of proof for probable cause is significantly lower than beyond a reasonable doubt necessary for a conviction. In the end, the officers made a wrongful arrest. They did not have, in my opinion, probable cause to arrest him for evading or for failure to give ID. When it comes to the criminal mischief, I thought they had a better chance at getting him for that, but a quick investigation of security cameras, etc. should have been able to clear that up relatively quickly. In my opinion, the auditor should not have been prone on the ground and crouching around the vehicles. That definitely will raise a reasonable suspicion that you are doing something illegally, especially combined with running across the parking lot. What do you guys think? Were the officers justified? Was the auditor reasonable in laying on the pavement around the cars? Let us know in the comments below, and we'll see you next time right here on Legal Dissent.